been recording for 30 seconds. This is a lie.
Nice. All right. So,
You ready to get started, though?
yeah. So, hello and welcome to another episode of It Never Ends. I'm your host, Andrew. Over there is my good buddy, Alex. How you doing today?
Pretty good. Brought back Onion out for a special occasion.
Heck yeah.
Because we got the Switch 2 to talk about, baby.
Yeah, the direct was literally today. So, what are your initial impressions of the Switch 2 so far? Pretty
Looks
meh.
okay. I mean, new Switch, 4K. Yeah, everything looks fine.
What we all
the
expected.
mouse control thing that they're weird. The weird like mouse control thing that they got going on with the
so
Joy-Con is a
weird.
little weird. It's cool. It's like, okay, are you guys gonna release like a Nintendo keyboard for some games? I guess. Like,
We'll just make
No,
it
like,
into
what is this
we'll
gonna
just
be
make it
used
into
for?
a mini laptop.
or is this just gonna be weird? Used for that weird like, I think it's a basketball but in wheelchairs game.
Yeah, there's that, or the Mario Party Jamboree game.
I guess they are using that in that.
But dude, are you ready for the Kinect for Nintendo Switch 2?
The camera was fucking weird. I have no idea what they're doing there. It's like gonna be Discord, but worse, I guess.
Yeah, it's like game chat, and I'm like, but it's Discord.
All right,
Whatever.
sure. I mean, if Nintendo feels like they're gonna have like a really good, like robust online system, then sure.
So do we think
not-
that they're actually going to fix the online service, or no?
I have to imagine so. With this upcoming gen and their big focus on like digital games, especially. Yeah,
We can
I
only
also
hope.
feel, not just based on this, but on other factors in the direct, they're going to raise the price of their online service.
Oh, most definitely.
Heh. I mean, at least we're getting GameCube games now, so there's that.
Yeah. Dude, and with those GameCube games, freaking Wind Waker, what the heck? Finally got it.
I do feel bad. I wish it was the HD remaster version. I feel so bad for Billy right now.
I know, he's been wanting that for so long.
It's like, well, yeah, he can play it on the go now. Cool, he could have downloaded an emulator and played that on his, like, Steam Deck. He doesn't want to play that portably. He wants the HD version, man.
Exactly.
Nintendo, you already have it. It's right there.
It's right fucking there,
Yeah.
man. Nah.
So, what are your first impressions of it? Initial impressions, good, bad, in the middle? You gonna buy it day one?
No.
No?
No, I do not care. I don't know. It
Fair
was
enough.
fine, I guess. I mean, it was just like, oh, here's a bunch of games that are already on other shit and stuff like that. But now you can play it on the go with the Switch too.
But, I can call you Andrew on this podcast, right?
Yes.
But Andrew, there's a new Donkey Kong game coming out.
Yeah,
Obviously,
Donkey Kong was
you have
weird
to
as
get it.
Fuck.
You love Donkey Kong, though. When the Mario movie came out, you were always talking about the Donkey Kong.
Was I?
You can't skip on the new Donkey Kong game.
Was
Yeah,
I?
because he's played... Who played Donkey Kong in that movie?
Seth
Was it
Rogen?
Seth Rogen.
Was it Chris Pratt? He just did all the characters.
You were all hyped up on Chris Pratt Kong. You have to buy the new Kong game now.
Yeah, the open world Breath of the Wild style of the Donkey Kong game.
Dude, that's so fucking weird to me. I hate how everything's open world now, but sure. I think it
Yeah.
looks fine.
You know, why not?
You know the one thing that left me kind of curious in terms of like questions I still had about the Nintendo Switch 2?
Yes.
So first off, I want to know, they're coming out with a new Pro Controller. I want to know if my old one will still work.
See, now that is the funny thing, because you know they have the new GameCube one, and which already exists, and the Pro Controller, which already exists. But I do wonder if it is going to be compatible because it doesn't have that little C button to open up the game chat.
That's the thing. It's like, I'm already spending $500 on this console. We'll get to that soon enough. But I'm already spending $500 on this thing. Am I gonna have to spend like another $150 for a Pro Controller? Because it's like, I'm going to want that with my Nintendo Switch 2. Because it's like... no one can defend it. The Switch controller without the Pro Controller, the one where it's just like a square and you're holding it like that, I've never liked that. I've always hated that thing. So I'm going to want just like the regular game controller. It's how I'm going to play this thing for most of the time. I don't... Yeah. Anyway, that's one of my big questions.
Okay,
and the
so
second one is...
real fast, just a quick answer to that, just because I Googled it real fast. And according to the Nintendo website that I'm looking at, it says the Nintendo Switch Joy-Con controller and peripherals such as the Pro Controller will be usable for the Nintendo Switch 2 by connecting them wirelessly from the system. So, aka saying the original Pro Controllers will be accessible for it.
That's good. Okay, that helps. I may still pick up the new ones eventually, but that's a problem for later then. The second question I have is, maybe I can look this up too. So the games are going to be upgraded for the Switch 2, is the thing we've learned. Is some of them are getting new content, some are just getting, like Breath of the Wild, just like HDR 4K upgrades. How much are those games gonna... like upgrades gonna cost? So you're telling me that if I wanted to play Breath of the Wild 4K on my Switch 2, I'm gonna have to spend an extra $40 on this game I already spent $70 on? Is that are you fucking kidding me? Like, I'm just seeing, like, it's just a Reddit post that I'm seeing it on.
Yeah, I don't know if
All right,
necessarily. I think it's just people kind of theorizing, actually.
Yeah. Like 10 to 20, I guess, would be okay. I do not want to see it go above that, though. You know...
Any more than that just feels like it's would be really bad.
Yeah, Nintendo's doing a lot of stuff to see if they can get away with it this gen, but...
That's true.
Here's the thing. It's like, even with PlayStation for, like, Days Gone and Last of Us 2, if you wanted to upgrade those, it costs $10. So it's like... Okay, sure, whatever. At the exact same time, first off, I find it really funny how many people are comparing the Switch 2 to the Xbox One. But, gotta give Xbox at this, at least. When they switched to next gen with the Series X, every game that was upgraded, they upgraded for free. You know, if it had a 60 FPS patch, you just got it. If it was in 4K now, you just got it. You didn't have to pay any extra, it was just there. Which I wish more companies would have followed suit on. I would have felt so nice to get my Switch 2 and just be able to plug in my old games and to just play better. I don't know. That was a bit of a letdown anyway for me.
Yeah, you know, theoretically that would be how it works.
You'd hope so, yeah. So before we get to the announcements, do you want to discuss the big problem that a lot of people have had with the Direct?
Sure. What's that? Honestly, I'm looking to see if I can find a price for the upgrades. So. Okay. And there's nothing really, but.
So the MSRP of the launch title, Mario Kart World, is going to be $80.
Mm-hmm.
And I did hear that I guess it's not going to be universal for every game because the new Donkey Kong game is apparently going to MSRP at $70.
Yeah, it's what I'm seeing here is that the Donkey Kong Bonanza will be $70.
Which I'm wondering how they're deciding for each game, like which one is going to be $70, which one is going to be $80. That I'm a little lost on, and I'm also a little worried that on top of this $80 that it's going to have microtransactions.
Either microtransactions or more expansion passes or something.
That you could, because you can very, and I mean very, very easily put that into Mario Kart. Yep. It's like compared to Mario Kart 8, there was a lot of like different carts, a lot of different characters that were just not there, and Nintendo could very easily sell them separately.
Oh yeah, and they most definitely will. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if, like, which games are or are not $80 or whatever, and how will this affect, you know, the greater gaming market in general. It's like, will we start seeing the days of $80 games and stuff like that. Now that
Oh yeah.
Sony and Microsoft are both looking at this, going, "Oh, they're charging 80," and people will still buy Mario Kart Worlds like crazy because they will.
No, definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm predicting. Actually, I think it's going to be worse, to be honest. So they feel comfortable charging 80, and I guarantee you, like, the industry is going to see this. Already, we know GTA 6. I'm just putting out there right now. It's going to be $100. When it launches, it will be a $100 purchase.
Oh yeah.
And I'm thinking a bunch of these studios are going to see, okay, so Nintendo feels comfortable selling their games at $80, and, GTA feels comfortable selling their games at $100. And when GTA does well, which they most certainly will, I wonder if Nintendo is going to be like, oh, well, we can start charging $100 for our games. Our audience will buy them anyway. So then they'll switch to $100, and that will become the... before this year is up, either $80 or $100 is going to be the universal price of all, new AAA games, is what my prediction is. And it's going to feel awful.
Oh yeah. I mean, this goes to a discussion we've had many a times at this point, but and so I'm just gonna do quick cover at this point. But
I also want to, before you go into that, I just want to add that I didn't think it was going to be Nintendo that was going to be the smoking gun.
Same. I'll agree with that.
This came completely out of the blue for me. It's like, what, they're doing this?
Yeah, I thought for sure it'd be GTA that would fuck it all up, but. Mm-hmm. But I was like, yeah, Nintendo was definitely not on my bingo board for who was going to fuck up the pricing scheme. But yeah, it's just kind of generally our general concern is that gaming is going to get so expensive to the point where it's just nobody will play it because of how expensive it gets, and it's that's not really what should happen and stuff like that.
No.
So that's the main gist of it. I don't want to go over and have the same conversations we've had many times. So
I know it's on the list. It just felt appropriate to bring it up.
Oh no, it's when it's applicable. It's
all
applicable.
Twitter is talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's So it's just will we see future Mario if they make a mainline Mario game? Will the next Pokemon game will ZA also be $80? I wonder.
I do foresee that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I get their... Here's the thing. I get their releasing Donkey Kong at 70. My prediction is that this is their way of testing the waters, right? Mm-hmm. It's I'm sure Mario Kart's going to do well because it's a launch title, but then they're going to release other eight games at $80, and they're going to compare that against games like Donkey Kong to see it's okay, do people gravitate more towards the cheaper games, or are they cool spending the more money? And I think it's eventually going to get to the more money one because they're more valuable IPs, i.e. things like Metroid Prime 4. They're going to be in the $80 category, and they're going to use that to justify pricing everything at $80.
Yep. Yeah, and it's even if they pick or choose or whatever, if they use some of their smaller games or whatever and keep them at 70 or whatever price tag they set or whatever, and then they're more hype ones or whatever, the ones that people are really excited about for the $80 price tag, sure, whatever, but
mm-hmm.
I don't know, we'll see. It's the thing is we all know that people are going to buy Mario Kart World. It's going to be a thing. It's going to happen, I guess. If you want to save a little money on it or whatever, buy the Switch 2 bundle with it, because then it's effectively only $50.
I think most people are going to gravitate towards that, and I think because of that, it's going to sell buttloads of copies, not just because it's Mario Kart, but because it is the launch title of a new Nintendo system. It's any game is going to be set up for success when you put it in that position, really.
Yeah, and also just buying the bundle effectively makes it $50, so it's you're saving $30 by buying the bundle for a game you already know you want.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was very interesting when I saw that. I was like, huh.
A lot of people were talking about it. It's it's the most innovative, Mario Kart of all time. It's you can a race from one racetrack to another. It's like, cool, bro. It's like Forza franchise has been doing that since the Xbox 360 era.
Yeah.
Like, I'm cool that Mario Kart is getting it now. The thing that makes me worried, though, is imagine in the first race you get absolutely fucked. Like, every computer is just computer player is just completely dunking on you. You're in absolute last place, and then you're being told, oh, you have to race to the next course, and it's like, okay, well, I'm starting, the next race in last place. All of them are like miles and miles ahead of me. I'll just quit and start the entire thing over now.
Yep.
Maybe there's a system in place for that. I don't know. I just found that funny the first time I heard it.
Yeah.
But I mean, the game itself looks fine. I'm excited for more Mario Kart. Why not?
Sure, why not? And then let's also throw in the other kart racing game of Kirby's Air Ride.
That was fucking sick. I did not expect to see a new Kirby game.
What?
That's why I broke up the Kirby.
Out of all the Kirby games, Kirby Air Ride, huh?
I mean, yeah, it's like there's only so much that you can do with Kirby, right? It's either you make another 2D side-scrolling game, you go with a 3D Kirby game, I guess, or you do a Kirby racing game. And people like Kirby Air Ride.
Fair enough, I guess.
I
just thought it was funny for like two kart racers to be in the same thing or whatever, and you were just like, huh.
I mean, technically 3 if you consider F-Zero, and that's coming in the GameCube collection.
Nah, that doesn't count. If they made another F-Zero game, which they never will, then I would count it.
Mm-hmm. Hey, maybe if enough people play F-Zero on this thing, they'll gauge interest. Like, oh,
no, they
people
won't.
want more F-Zero.
We're Nintendo. We don't give a shit.
But they want to make money, and I wish they would let me give them money.
Yes.
No, I should not say that. Rewind. Take that out of the podcast.
Oh, I absolutely will not.
Fuck.
When I hold all the editing power, you don't.
Let's talk about the biggest announcement, though, out of anything that came out at the Direct. Fucking Silk Song coming out this year.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Oh, come on, they said in the Direct it's coming this year. It
has
to be this year.
I understand, but my heart can only be broken so many times.
Listen, man, we could be living in a year where we get both Slay the Spire 2, Hades 2, and fucking Silk Song. I need this.
Dude, and then throw Monster Train 2 in there as well. Then it's perfect.
Are we getting a Monster Train 2 this year?
Heck yeah, it's coming out May 21st, baby.
Nice.
I'm so excited.
Speaking of the release dates, this is coming out in June, the fucking new Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
That's soon.
Yeah.
That's in 2 months.
It's funny because I heard when I heard like the leak reports or whatever, people were saying it was like they were going to put the launch date and it was going to be early June, and I was just like, wow, it was all right.
Are there any other announced games that you're super hyped for with the Nintendo Switch too? Obviously, we need new stuff like Metroid Prime, but like stuff they announced during this.
My brother was really excited for the Hyrule Warriors, the Age of Imprisonment.
Yeah.
Yeah, he liked those. He liked the Hyrule Warrior games.
The fact that the Switch is effectively getting a Bloodborne sequel to PlayStation is so funny.
I'm excited for Enter the Gungeon 2. That legitimately I am super excited for.
I almost forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, it was very short, but it was very cool looking. Other than that, it's just like a lot of just like old games that are getting, the Switch 2 treatment, I guess. Like Cyberpunk, Final Fantasy VII, Street Fighter, Hogwarts Legacy. Some games that are not out. Elden Ring.
The problem is they need to announce new games that are getting put on this, right?
Yeah.
It's like if they announce something like you got Final Fantasy Integrate and Elden Ring. Imagine if they said, "Oh yeah, this is Doom: The Dark Ages is going to launch on this thing," right? Some games that are like actually new. once we start seeing like these big AAA games not skipping the Switch and going there day one is when I'll be more excited about it. But
well, and then you got then you got games like Dusk Bloods, which is that From Software game or whatever that's coming out on Switch 2 exclusively.
That's what I was talking about earlier. It's about how they're getting basically Bloodborne 2 before the PlayStation.
That fucking blows my mind that From Software is making a game that's specifically for the Switch 2. And I'm just going like, what?
I think that's fucking crazy. Like, that's going to drive sales like no tomorrow.
Also, I'm looking 100%. Here at the description of it on the Nintendo website, and it says a brand new multiplayer title. It's multiplayer?
I guess like they're trying to pivot that way since they're also doing that thing with Elden Ring Nightblood or something like that.
Something like that.
That's what it's called?
Yeah. It's just, it would not have been on my bingo board, though, I'll be honest.
No. Not at all. What I was saying earlier, though, is I want to see, like when this year's COD drops, I want to see that coming to the Switch same day as other consoles. When the Switch becomes a system that is basically just like a modern, video game console, but with Nintendo exclusives instead of like PlayStation exclusives or PlayStation exclusives. The Xbox doesn't have exclusives anymore. That is when I think I'm going to be more like, I don't know if accepting is the word, but I just remember when the Wii U first came out, right? And they put like Black Ops on there, and they put, Batman Arkham, I think it was City on there. It's like, those were all cool, but those were the only like next gen games to really hit that system.
Yeah.
And Nintendo wanted more stuff to come to it, but that obviously never happened.
Just never happened, yeah.
And they just skipped that entire market until this generation, basically. So I'm interested to see it's like where Nintendo pivots from here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because it's just like, obviously it seems like they're trying to get more current games or whatever on there. And probably try and get like day one releases for games, so that way if people want to play on their Switch, they can. But yeah, it's just like, but at the same time, it's like you do need to make more first party games, which there wasn't a ton in this one. It was just like, it's like the Mario Kart Worlds and like Donkey Kong Bonanza and whatever, and it was like.
So far, it's doing way better than the Switch did in its initial release, because you are getting Mario Kart, you were getting Donkey Kong, we're getting the new Hyrule Warriors, Metroid Prime. It's like, and the new Kirby Air Ride. So that by itself, that's 5 new games. That's not even including Pokemon ZA, which is also, I'm guessing, gonna drop with the console. So they have stuff. It's just like some more of their like mainline stuff. We don't have a mainline Zelda game or a new mainline Mario game coming out. And, you would have expected those things to be announced. I very much expecting a new Mario title, not expecting a new Donkey Kong. That came out of nowhere, really.
Yeah, that really did come out of left field.
Yeah. A lot of the announcements that came out of this came out of left field, I feel like.
Yeah.
Especially like you said, the exclusive FromSoft game. That's like, wow. Okay, sure.
You could have given me 100 guesses. I would have never guessed that.
No. Hey, like I said, I think it's going to really drive sales, though.
It will. It's just like, it just doesn't feel like a lot of, like, for some people, it's like, like, obviously the Dust Blood or whatever will sell people because, like, people love the Souls-like games or whatever. And it's just like, obviously, Mario Kart Worlds is going to sell a lot, too. But it's like, if you're not really interested in like either of those things, I guess, it's hard to get super excited for it. Especially when a lot of these titles already are on other things currently, or will be launching on other things. Like Borderlands 4, they said is going to be on the Switch, but we also know it's going to be on everything else as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, what convinces me to go play Borderlands 4 for the Switch 2? And I go, nothing really.
Here's some things that would sell me on that, actually. So, I just obviously, it's a portable console. And people are always hyping things up like the Steam Deck. So to be able to play like new, like new 4K like modern AAA games on the go, I like the Steam Deck proved that's a really useful feature for a lot of people. Plus, I know it's kind of the meme that I brought this up, but they do have that mouse thing. If they do come out with like a little like mini Nintendo keyboard and you could just play it like a mouse and keyboard game,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd be fucking hyped for that personally. I think that'd be really cool. They can decide whether or not to do that with the Switch 2. I think it would be a brilliant idea to do that, especially for like shooters and shit. I'm sorry, you go. I interrupted.
But yeah, it was just like, I love how I made the meme with my brother where it was just like, oh, they're going to do like a Mario Party like mini game or something like that where it's just like you're just going to have to like shake the mouse thingy or whatever. And like literally one of the demonstrations was that. And I'm just like, God, it's going to destroy the shit out of your Joy-Con.
Yep, it will.
Oh my God. I can already see it now, considering that the part that you put down is the one that's supposed to like magnetically click in there and stuff like that. It's like, I guarantee you that part gets fucked up, and that's a majority of how people will lose their Joy-Cons. I can already foresee that happening. Oh, I wonder if they'll say it's like, oh, you should use like a mouse pad or something like that for it.
I wonder if that'd even help, though. It's Mario Party is the thing. Yeah.
It's just like, oh, if the whole thing is to just like shake it back and forth as you're on the thing or whatever, it's just like so that's not gonna help. That was so funny because I was like, I can already foresee it. People breaking their Joy-Cons by playing Mario Party, just scraping the shit out of the bottom of their Joy-Cons. Oh. So
we can talk all day.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I interrupted
you. You go ahead because I was like, I wasn't gonna say anything really.
I mean, all I was gonna say is like we can talk all about stuff that wasn't there. Like, obviously, I wish it was a new Splatoon game, but I think what was there was good. It's priced pretty high. I actually think the price of the console itself is pretty good. I think that's fair. In line with like most modern consoles, well, it has the specs of most modern consoles. It's like you can't ask too much more. But I don't know. I thought it was good. It's not the best thing of all time, obviously. Like it's not nearly as hype as the announcement for the original Switch was, because that was a big new thing back then. This is just basically a bigger, better Switch.
Yeah, it's just the bigger, better Switch. So.
No, I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we all kind of expected for. It's like, oh, what's Nintendo going to do for their next console or whatever? Is it just going to be a bigger, beefier Switch? The answer was yes. Yes, it was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
To which I feel like was no surprise, considering how much the Switch really helped, if not saved Nintendo for a while there. And then you just like... I don't know. It just fits like what they want to do with the stuff or whatever, and it's basically like, it's just their brand.
It also helps that like mobile gaming is really big right now. With things like the Steam Deck, the ROG Ally, and whatever Odin thing that Ghost of Mozart has.
What?
So, yeah, he has a little handheld gaming thing. He says he plays PS2 games.
Oh, that, yeah.
Real quick before we can still keep talking about this, but I also need to bring up another topic that we've unfortunately beat into the ground. Is how do you feel about Nintendo Switch 2 game carts basically just being a key to download the game off the Nintendo Switch store?
Oh, is that really all they are?
Yeah. The game is not on the disc at all.
I mean, it's fine, I guess. So, do you still need the game cartridge in to play it then?
I guess so. It's also $10 more than buying it digitally.
I don't know, man. It is what it is.
That's why I was saying it's like with this generation, it may be the one where I start switching to digital games with Nintendo. I don't feel good saying that, but it's like, so I'm paying an extra $10 just to get this plastic box that I'm probably gonna put on the shelf and never look at. Like, what's the point of that then?
Yeah.
It's like if I really am hype and care about a game, sure, maybe I'll fork over the extra dough for it. But at that point, why not just do like a limited run thing and make it like a special edition?
Make them like steelbooks or something like that.
Yeah, do steelbooks or I don't know, release a figure with them or something like that.
Something.
And like we've said, we've gone on and on about the death of the physical media for the longest time, but I don't know. With Nintendo, I thought Nintendo was also going to be one of those companies that holds out a lot longer. Apparently not.
Nah, I guess it's just like when you see like a majority of the sales are digitally, so it's just like we'll just kind of do that. So it's just like I don't know, not superly surprising, but at the same time it's just like I was with you. I was kind of thinking it was going to be a little bit more, but to each their own.
Sucks to see, man. It's like I said on that Discord page. It's like I will drop this immediately after I say this, but kids these days do not know how good we had it. I just remember buying Smash Brothers Melee I bought it from a game store branch that doesn't even exist anymore called Game Crazy. And I just remember driving on the way home from getting that, Blockbuster, and Pizza Hut. Just reading the back of the box, reading through the manual.
Heck yeah.
Looking at all the different features of the game.
Heck yeah. Yeah. I was like, I remember doing that same exact thing or whatever. It's like, as a kid, I was being dragged to, Best Buy, Walmart, whatever, while my mom does, like, some shopping or whatever. And I was just like, I'm going to go to the games. And I just go over there, and it's like, but can I get this game? Can I get this game? And then I pester her to enough to she goes, fine. And then basically the whole rest of the ride there, I'm just looking at it, staring at the thing, reading the manual type thing. It's a whole different feel. It's just not the same.
No. It's just not as fun anymore.
No one even has. No one even has like the instruction manual anymore.
I mean, that's been gone for a long time. I think that went away with like the fucking Xbox One era is when that officially got done with. But I think like even halfway through the Xbox 360 era, game manuals were just non-existent anymore.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It is what it is.
So you're not going to get this Switch 2 day one. What Switch game would come out that would make you want to buy a Switch 2?
Honestly, I have no idea. If Hollow Knight Silksong was a Switch 2 exclusive, I guess.
There was never going to be a reality where that was going to be the case.
No.
I mean, I have Game Pass, so I'm getting that day one for free.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
Honestly, I have no idea.
You know, that's a weird question that I don't think we've actually talked about before. With Nintendo, pricing games as high as they are, they're obviously going far more into digital, and they have this online service. Do you think we're going to see a bigger push towards like a Game Pass type subscription service from Nintendo?
I mean, considering that Sony has one, I wouldn't be surprised. They
Does,
they
does
they
Sony
could just
put their
package
games
it
day
with.
one on that service? Like, is there a version of Sony's service that does that?
Doesn't like the highest like tier of that, doesn't that have like day one's exclusives? I can't remember if it does or not.
Let me take a look. I don't think so. I think they're eventually. I'm thinking they're going to eventually pivot to that, but I'm not sure if they do that right now.
Yeah, that's true. That doesn't sound right. So
you keep going. You keep going. I'm gonna quick look this up.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised if like Nintendo like packages it with like, oh, buy this like Nintendo all Nintendo bundle or whatever the fuck they decide to call it, type thing, where it has like the online expansion pass plus like this whole library of games or whatever, whether or not it's all the ones that we day one or whatever new launches, or it'll just be like, oh, here's a bunch of like really old games that were for the Switch or whatever, and now the Switch 2 upgrades for them and everything like that, and just go play them. Like it has like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom and Mario Kart Worlds and I don't know what else, but a bunch of other games, I'm sure. Or I wonder if they'll do like kind of like what Sony does, where it's like you have like monthly free games or whatever if you're like if you're like a PS Plus member.
I'm not sure they still do that anymore.
I don't know if they still do. They not? I don't know, or at least like they did a while back, I guess.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I think again, we don't need to talk about this too much, but games industry is gonna.
They still do monthly games.
Okay.
Yeah, they already have April's out or whatever. It's like RoboCop Rogue City, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and whatever the fuck that last one is. I don't even know what that even is.
I mean, Rogue City is cool, but nobody plays Texas Chainsaw Massacre anymore. Why are they giving... Like, obviously they're giving that shit away.
Oh.
Who in the right mind would pay for that? But,
I see Marches was like Dragon Age Veilguard, Sonic Colors, and the Turtles Cowabunga collection.
The Veilguard fucks me up. That game's only a few months old.
That's why I'm just like, wow.
Yeah. I did not know it did that bad.
I guess.
It's gotta feel not great over at BioWare right now.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how much trouble Ubisoft is in. With them having to sell like part of themselves over to Tencent. God, I wonder what the fuck BioWare is planning on doing with themselves now. Like, how many chances how many chances is EA going to give them?
Are they going to say if the new Mass Effect game doesn't do well, that you're fucked?
I mean, I'd have to imagine so. Even that game is years away. I legitimately think that we're going to get the next Elder Scrolls before the next Mass Effect drops.
Jeez. Okay.
It's like, is anyone even going to give a single fuck at that point about Mass Effect?
I mean, if they had put out the Legendary Edition, which has like Mass Effects 1, 2, and 3 on it, and then it was like, oh, then like maybe like a year later they would have done like a new Mass Effect game, sure. But now, no.
That's what I'm worried about. Like, are they going to put out another remaster, I guess? They're going to remaster Mass Effect Andromeda, that game that everyone loved.
Yeah, let's remaster Andromeda. Now we'll just remaster the remaster of 1, 2, and 3.
Good God.
It was like the joke I made to my brother. It's like, oh, Square Enix is gonna put out Final Fantasy VII the remake remastered.
So Nintendo.
He's gonna brush right past that.
Yeah.
Look, maybe one day.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. Like we've said a million times before, it's going to be so interesting and so bizarre to see where the industry goes from here. And to see the Switch 2 kind of kicking things off is kind of like the smoking gun, I think. for a lot of things to come.
Yeah. Realistically, when do we think that we're gonna see like these like handheld versions of the PlayStation and Xbox or whatever, or is the Xbox just doesn't really care because they have XCloud, I guess?
Are they like the handheld Xbox? That's already a thing that's going to exist by next year.
Yeah. So you think it'll be like next year by the time we see them?
Probably. I have no idea what PlayStation is going to do. The thing with the Xbox is that we already know they exist, right? They're partnering with Asus to make those.
Yeah.
So we're going to get that then. It's not going to compete with the Switch 2. It's a horrible idea.
Well,
I thought.
You
go ahead. Yeah.
It's just like Nintendo's in the league of their own for some reason that they can just do whatever the fuck they want and get away with it. And so it's just like, well, they're not, Microsoft or Sony does this whole thing or whatever. It's like, yeah, it's not going to compete with the Switch 2 because they're Nintendo.
I was a little surprised, actually. I would have thought that Microsoft would have came to Nintendo being like, hey, can you please put Xbox Game Pass on this?
Hey, it could still happen.
I'm hoping so. That'd be fucking hype. Do you think Nintendo wants Game Pass on the Switch too?
I mean, I think they take it.
Okay.
Wouldn't you if all of a sudden they could work out something with Microsoft to just say like, oh, well, we'll put the Xbox Game Pass on there and it's like, but Xbox would want we want like a Mario game or something like that, right?
No. I think here's the problem that I think Nintendo would want. They would want the sales from games coming on the Switch.
Yeah, it's true.
And it's like if they put Game Pass on the Switch, it's like that'd be cool. Probably get a lot more people to buy the system. Nintendo wouldn't make any money off of Game Pass, though, is the thing. Like, all of that subscription money just goes to Microsoft. Nintendo gets nothing from that.
Do we ever think in the near foreseeable future Nintendo puts, like, one of their first-party games onto the PC? Like, could you see a first-party a first-party Nintendo game, like a Mario game or something like that, go on to Steam?
Near future?
Yeah, like foreseeable future. I'm gonna say no.
And then,
say in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think in 10 years that we might see like a Mario game on the PC?
Like I said before, I think the games industry is going to change a lot, and I mean a lot, in the next 10 years.
That's true.
So, I think basically, we already see with the next Xbox is going to have Steam on it. Hell, I think they're going to put Steam on the Series X, to be honest, in the next couple of years. I think the next PlayStation and Xbox are just going to be like PCs that you can use in your living room.
I mean, it would be kind of cool to see if the next Steam Deck would just be also just an Xbox at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just I could see that happening.
That's why I think eventually everything in those ecosystems is just gonna blur together, and it's gonna become a big old fucking mess. God,
there's a whole bunch of tangled limbs.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's gonna be weird, and Valve is gonna make so much goddamn money. Jesus Christ, they're gonna have to do absolutely nothing, yet they're going to make billions and billions of dollars off of just existing. That pisses me off so much, but with all of that happening, I could see not with this Nintendo generation, obviously, but whatever Nintendo does next, I could see them at least being open to the idea.
Yeah, that's true.
Which feels weird to say. I think it's unlikely, but I do think it's possible. Can I ask what your stance is on that?
Whether or not we'll see it?
Yeah. You said no. I want to know what your reasoning is.
I just don't foresee it because Nintendo just loves to have control over everything that is theirs. And putting And putting something like that, like putting like a Mario game or whatever, basically, onto like a Donkey Kong or Legend of Zelda game onto Steam or whatever, instantly means that they'll lose partial control of the game, and that's just something that they're just not okay with. It's like maybe if Nintendo has like a change in philosophy, or like a I don't know, a new person taking over at Nintendo type thing, and they're saying we want to expand our reach of the game or whatever, and that means putting it on other consoles. I just don't foresee that happening until a new guard takes over, and I don't foresee that happening anytime soon.
No. I didn't even consider that, because that even goes back to like Nintendo. In terms of like competitive gaming, people have wanted that on Nintendo for the longest time. Again, we've talked about this. We don't need to talk about it long. But every time there's like a big like Smash Brothers, big Mario Kart, big fucking Splatoon tournament, Nintendo wants all the regulation over it, and yet they do nothing with it. But if people do it, they will try and shut it down, which is bizarre.
If they do it without their consent, basically. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they've shut down many big tournaments or whatever. I still think the that big like fighting tournament or whatever that's held pretty like annually, like still doesn't have any like Smash Brothers on it anymore.
This next gen, I think they're gonna need to push themselves to be better about things like that, because it's like if you're gonna make online such an integral component with your games, which this is clearly showing that they want to do more with that, with the camera, with, the big new Mario Kart.
They just want to beef up their online service, I think.
So you guys, they need to be more lenient with stuff like that, I think. Maybe just letting people run tournaments, because
or putting out guidelines, or giving them a link, something that allows them to do something like that. Like, open up communications between them, saying like, "Hey, we'll let you do this or whatever if you agree to these guidelines," type thing. Something that's reasonable,
Yeah, because again, if online is going to be a big component of your console moving forward, which again I think this direct shows that they want it to be, then you need to extend that olive branch, because in terms of like tournaments and things like that, that is like the big thing that online is there for, right? Like, people want to play competitively.
Yeah.
And especially with Nintendo's games like Smash Brothers, Mario Kart, Splatoon, these are all things that have existed forever, basically.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not saying that you need to have like a big worlds tournament or whatever, but just something cool to have or whatever, just to like, just like a little scene. It doesn't need to be anything massive. You don't need to put on a big show or anything like that. You don't need to have worlds. You don't need to have the LCS or some shit like that. No.
It'd be so easy just to put out a series of guidelines and just let people run tournaments,
Nintendo, if you don't want to do it, there will be people that does want to do it. Mm-hmm. You just have to let them.
And it's only good for you, is the thing.
Yeah.
It only will ever make you more money.
Could you imagine if like Nintendo says that for like they have like a department or like a representative or something like that literally handles this exact thing for any number of their games that they want or whatever, so like Smash Brothers, Splatoon, whatever type thing, and it's just like, then you like whenever you want to host these things, you have to like talk to them, set guidelines and everything like that, and everything that happens or whatever, goes through us type thing. It's as simple as that.
Completely fine, 100%. Now again, like, if people are breaking the rules and they're emulating the next Smash Brothers or whatever, and it's like, well then shut that down. This is just something that people have been asking for, and is something that they're really going to need to push for.
It would be a huge show of just like, all right, we realize we've done really bad over the last few years, so let's try and make it better. And that would be a huge step.
It would buy back a lot of that, goodwill that I think was kind of lost with the up in price. I think that would also help.
Yeah.
Especially when you can consider this. Like, one of the big tournaments that got shut down that got people really pissed was, like, a Smash Brothers Melee tournament, right?
Yeah.
Because they were making the game online and there was no way to play it online before.
Yeah.
That honestly can now change with, GameCube games going on to the online service. You can just put Melee on there. Imagine, like, how hype it would be if Nintendo said, oh, yeah,
GameCube has Smash
GameCube
Brothers Melee
games,
on it.
The GameCube games that are coming to the Switch, oh yeah, those have online multiplayer. You want to play Double Dash, you can play it online. You want to play fucking Smash Brothers Melee, it's on there, and you can play it with your friends online. Instant hype. Plus, the game is online in an official way right now that you can control, and you can tell all those people that have been wanting to have this tournament, it's like, hey, you can do this now. You can do it through us, through our system, through our console.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see if that's something Nintendo will do. I can always hope, but some part of me tells me it's probably not going to happen. Prove me wrong, Nintendo, please.
Yeah, I'm going to keep my hopes up on this one. I'm hoping they see the necessity, at least.
Like, okay, I get that maybe, like, the Switch itself maybe wasn't the best console when it came to online stuff. They weren't 100% sure when it came out, and they just, I guess, never felt the need to really improve it. But it's like we've been saying. It's like it feels like the Switch 2 is a step into, like, we want to get more into this multiplayer aspect. We want to get into more of this online service being actually good type thing. And people will have to probably be okay with paying more for it. But if people are okay with that because the service is good and it's something they want, then yeah, let's go for it.
Mm-hmm. Especially with them having a dedicated button for game chat and this new weirdo Kinect camera thing that you can connect to your Switch.
Yeah,
I really feel like that they've pivoted in that way. I really hope that this is just a full step and not a half step. Just Nintendo, I know you can be closed-minded sometimes. Just let it happen. It's going to sound dirty. Yeah, just let it happen.
Just let it happen. It's like, don't worry, baby. I'll just let it happen.
You see the road laid out in front of you, just drive nice and smooth along it.
You got a nice open road in front of you, just cruise on through. Yeah. Yep. So overall, it's kind of what I expected for the Switch 2 thing or whatever. I was not expecting like an hour-long thing where it was just like, talking about the upgrade. Do we know exactly like all the games that are upgradable? Like, is it only like the 4 that they had on the screen or whatever? Which I think it was like Kirby's Forgotten Land, like Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom and stuff like that. Or if there's more.
I haven't heard of more. I think there are going to be more upgraded games, and I think they did say in the Direct, I think, that more are going to come and are going to be announced.
They got to be, right?
Mm-hmm. They didn't say what the price was, which is
mildly concerning. Because it's like, man, I mean, $10 I guess feels fine, or whatever. Anything more than that kind of feels a little bit too much.
Yeah. If they try charging $20 just for like, if they're charging $20 for the new like Mario Kart pack, it's like, whatever. Sure, you're coming out with new games. Sure. If I'm just getting like, paying more just to get a better frame rate and like resolution on games like Breath of the Wild, it's like, that's such bullshit, and I don't want to pay for that.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, let's not.
That wouldn't feel good.
Yeah, let's not. How about, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, if we're done with Nintendo, I have another topic just because with baseball season started.
Yeah.
So
Brewers are getting their asses handed to them.
Well, they've been doing better as of recent, but the first series with the Yankees was not great. So that was one thing I wanted to talk about, is that the Yankees came out with this new design they're calling the Torpedo bat, or the bowling pin bat, I think is what a lot of people have been calling it. And it's really interesting because it's not cheating. It's not technically cheating, but it. So for anyone that doesn't know, it's basically a redesigning of the baseball bat, like within the rules of MLB. Like it's within the rules. It's fine, whatever type thing. MLB is willing to look the other way or whatever. So a lot of players are now getting these or whatever. After seeing what the Yankees did to the Brewers or whatever, it didn't help that the Brewers pitching staff was throwing fucking meatballs all goddamn weekend.
No,
just
that's really bad.
Slamming them, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! All right, well, anyway, but it was just like, but the whole point of these torpedo bats is that it widens the barrel length, which is the barrel is the part of the bat that you want the ball to collide with, because that's where all the power is, and stuff like that. It widens that by almost a full inch, basically, and then pulls it down a little bit, so it's closer to the handle of the ball or the bat and stuff like that. And those are most of the times where the players hit it. And what oftentimes results is that it's leaving the tip, and then when you look at it from top down or however you like handle up, basically it's like the top part, and you look down, it almost looks like a bowling pin or torpedo as they're calling it, because like the idea is that you torpedo it out to the center field or whatever. And it's like, yeah, the Yankees hit 9 home runs or whatever in one game, tying or setting their franchise record for most home runs hit in a single game or whatever. So it was just like, and it was just drawing all the attention and stuff like that. And I just want to point out just like how it's, I love and I hate baseball. Okay? This is a move that happens, and I know what everyone's saying. It's like it's not cheating or whatever. It's just when you look at this, baseball is a very old sport. It's over 100 years old at this point, and stuff like that. So, and when they wrote these rules, okay, they established the bat length, how long a bat can be, how wide the bat can be, and everything like that. They set these rules pretty long time ago. Never in their minds where they think that people were going to think scientifically and logically when it comes to making bats. So in essence, yeah, it makes a lot of sense when you look at the science, you look at the statistics, and you look at how it is. This was almost inevitable, right? And I'm not saying that the bats are necessarily why the Yankees hit. They have a lot of power hitters or whatever and stuff like that. And as I thought the Brewers manager Pat Murphy put it perfectly, it's not the wand, it's the magician. Yeah. But the wand definitely helps. I'm just going to say that right there and then. Mm-hmm. He won't say that because he's too much of a professional. But as a fan, I look at this going just like, but this sort of gives unfair advantage to some hitters, right?
You would think so, yeah.
It's just like changing everything basically, because like when as a pitcher, when you're looking at a scouting report for a hitter, the number one thing is what pitches do they tend to swing at and miss or struggle with or whatever. Because oftentimes when they're struggling with it, they're not hitting off the right part of the barrel of the bat. Hey, guess what? If you widen it and pull it down on the bat, then the barrel changes where it is, and so where weak contact was happening is now major contact. So guys are hitting home runs, they're hitting hard hit balls or whatever, and stuff like that. And while the sample size is still far too low to know whether or not this is truly impactful or not at this point, is whatever. My whole issue with this is that because the Yankees basically did this, looking at the very rudimentary rules that they have set, which is just like it has to be round with a smooth bat, with it, and it can't be longer than, I think it was like 42 inches. The barrel can't be larger than 2.61 centimeters in diameter and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. It all falls under that criteria, but they didn't approve it by baseball. Like they just did this because it fit within the rules. And then everyone sees what they did to the Brewers, and now everyone wants them. So now some teams that are willing to pay big bucks to get in front of them are like getting the bats earlier than others, which is causing a bit of unfair advantage for some things. If they wanted to do this, then they should put this out for everyone to use if they want to. There are some players that still prefer the normal bats. Some people already have customary bats. Like I know Bryce Terang for the Brewers, who has like this like he has like his own bat type where it's like really thick around the handle and stuff like that. He likes it a lot, so he's probably gonna. I can't imagine he'd want to change it up too much, but it's like.
I mean, this is if it's something that's going to impact the greater league all at once. You would think that everybody would be given the opportunity to have them all at the same time, so things don't become unfair.
Yeah. But no, the Yankees just decided we're just going to roll out this thing. Even though I know this is nothing new. We've seen it in past years. We've seen other hitters use these type of bats. But it just feels like now that they have really gone into the science and the scientific process of all this and really ran the numbers and everything like that, that it's just changing everything. And there's just so many players that want them now and just can't have access to them. And it's like, that's kind of not okay.
No.
And the thing is like with this, if hitters, if we do find out by the end of this year or even midway through the year or however long it takes to really look at the statistics, how much is this really impacting our players' exit velocities that much higher as a result of the torpedo bat or not type thing, like is greater contact being made type thing, which I would have to believe so if you're adding a whole nother inch to the barrel. Mm-hmm. It's just like, okay, so this is a tool that hitters get to use to up their offensive numbers. A couple years ago, the MLB decided that Major League pitchers can't use pine tar because it makes spin rates go through the roof and guys were striking out more often because offensive numbers were down. All right, if you're going to let batters have torpedo bats, bring back the fucking pine tar to the pitchers, for God's sakes. If the batters get this option that's way better than them, that makes them way better, that makes contact way harder, then why should they be denied pine tar and other sticky substances? Just saying. I don't know. I remember the days back when they still allow you to use like the pine tar or whatever, and just seeing the ridiculous spin rates and the ridiculous movement that some pitchers had with it, and it was so cool to see. But that's the unappreciated part of baseball. Is like, oh, everyone just wants to see the home runs, and I'm like, but if you look at the pitching, it's really cool if you really look at it. Mm-hmm. That's the part that's so hard to see on the screen when you're at the ballpark, though.
I mean, it's kind of like how everybody, when you go to a hockey game, they just want to see the players beat the shit out of each other.
That, or it's just like, it's like how hot. Yeah, pretty much.
I thought that was so funny. The one time I went to a hockey game, everybody was just holding up a sign saying we want to see a fight.
Right. I don't know. Baseball's weird. It started out weird with the Yankees just absolutely decimating the Brewers because they just couldn't throw. The pitchers just decided to stop pitching.
I just want to say too that what the Yankees are doing is just such a Yankees thing to do.
It's such a Yankees thing, and that's what pisses me off more than anything in the world. Like if the Yankees or the Dodgers literally did this whole thing, but the Yankees will say we have the smallest analytic team in all of baseball. Bullshit. That is just wrong. I know it's wrong because if that was not the case, you would not have this right now. I don't know, man. It's just weird that it's just like first, literally opening day, and everything is changed. Everything's like that, and it's just like, this is so stupid. Why is this allowed? Like type thing, and it's just like, and again, it's like we're looking at rules that were made really long time ago, not really thinking that we'd get so scientific to this point that we'd change the entire look of the bat and everything like that. And you go, well, it would just make sense. I'm like, yeah, it does, but I guarantee you old people that put together the rules didn't think this was ever going to happen.
It's like the American government with guns. We never thought we'd be able to create rifles that can shoot out like 60 rounds per second.
Exactly. So everyone's just like, but it's in the rule. They're perfectly legal and everything like that. But I understand that, but it doesn't make it okay. You know?
Yeah.
It's just it's so funny to me that it's just like after one of the games or whatever, it's like like Brewers closer like Trevor McGill was just like it's like watching slow pitch softball up there. You throw up a pitch or whatever, and they just hit it 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's crazy. I don't know. It's just a weird thing that I was like, what in the fuck is this? I don't understand. It's just like, the Reds big slugger Ellie De La Cruz or whatever got it or whatever, and the first game he has with the torpedo bat, he hits 2 home runs and basically hits for a cycle, and it's just like, still don't think that it's like, but it's only 1 game and he has been doing that ever since or whatever, and the Yankees even lost. Yeah, but they're still hitting home runs like crazy and no tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So, just saying, it's like, well, and then Aaron Judge isn't using them or whatever, and it's like, yeah, that's because he doesn't need it. He's just that good. Could you imagine if he actually decided he wanted to use it? Guy would be hitting 100 home runs. He'd break Barry Bonds' record without even the use of PEDs. Be wild.
So I actually didn't know too much about what the big differences between torpedo bats were. I can see how this is a problem. Very much can see how this is an issue.
Yeah, you can see the barrel is just bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
it's just the shape of it.
It's just like the shape of it, and again, it's just like when you're looking at a scouting report for baseball, it's that the whole point is trying to for a player to make weak contact, and that's usually at bats from previous years or previous at bats not using these bats or whatever. That's saying, because it's like oftentimes what happens with weak contact is you're just missing the barrel and stuff like that. But what happens if you add an extra inch to the barrel? Hey, guess what? That weak contact then is now good contact, which means the exit velocity is really popping off the bat, which means they're probably getting base hits and or home runs off of this now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Sample size is still small. We'll see how it really goes or whatever. It really does or whatever. But I can already foresee it now. MLB is just going to look the other way because offensive numbers are up and stuff like that, and everyone's just going to go, but why?
Because of this.
Exactly. Because Manfred doesn't actually care about he doesn't care about it. He just wants to get more ratings.
I mean, I agree, though. If we're giving batters this extra advantage, we need to give something to pitchers to kind of offset that. Bring back the pine tar.
Bring back the pine tar. Let him have the sticky stuff. I want to see rotation rates through the fucking roof like it was, and the movement that some sliders have and stuff like that. There's a new pitch in baseball that pitchers are trying to perfect or whatever. It's called the death ball, and it's fucking crazy. The whole reason it's called the death ball is because of the grip. Now, it's so weird because it's like you hold it and then you put your pointer finger behind the ball itself. And so when you throw the ball, what the idea is that it goes off the top of your finger, the curled finger that you have, your curled pointer finger behind the ball. And as you throw it, it's supposed to slide off the top of your curled finger. And it's supposed to look like a fastball, but then dive so fast due to the heavy backspin on it that it just has an absurd amount of run on it. And it's crazy. Sick. Apparently it shreds your pointer finger as a result of it, and that's why it's called the death ball.
I mean, I would have to imagine.
A lot of pitchers tried to use it during spring training, and I can't imagine a ton of them are using it now, and now that regular season's happening. But it's the idea of the death ball is hilarious and also really interesting that, after 100+ years or whatever of baseball, we're still inventing new pitches. Because it's I look at the movement and I go, it's a combination of a changeup, a slider, and a curveball all in one. And it's pretty nutty. We're only 6 days into the fucking baseball, and it's just man, what the fuck? Six games into a 162 game season. I love it. I wonder if the Braves will actually get a win. They started out 0-6. and have just had a rough stretch of it. And then one of their big signings over the offseason, Jerks and Profar, got caught using PEDs, so he's now serving an 80-game suspension with and then also with that, due to new rules, is that if the Braves make the postseason, he can't play in it. He's just like, ooh,
fuck.
The Braves could be, if they don't turn their season around, could be they play later tonight. I was wondering what their score was. Oh, they're facing the Dodgers. They're gonna lose.
Who do you think is having a worse season, them or the Brewers?
It's
definitely
the
gotta be
Braves.
the Braves, right?
Definitely the Braves.
Okay.
Brewers just had a rough start to the season. The last few games have looked better.
Yeah. Okay.
It also doesn't help that our pitching is fucking decimated. Between Savali going on the DL or the IL, and then like Myers, we still don't have Quintana, but he's like just doing a few extra ones or whatever. It's like, of our main starting rotation that I thought we were gonna have, it's like we realistically only have two, which is Freddie Peralta and Nestor Cortez. And I go, oh good, Nestor Cortez, the guy who threw meatballs to his former team. Yay. Yeah.
Do I want to know a story behind that?
He's a fine pitcher. It was like when the Brewers traded Devin Williams to the Yankees or whatever, we got back Nestor Cortez, which I wasn't too thrilled about because he's weird. Okay, he's a left-handed thrower that uses, like, he's kind of funny because like what you do it is how he kind of pitches is that he does it by deception. He does it by trying to mistime players or whatever. So what happens is when a pitcher picks up their front leg, they can hold that pose for as long as they want to, as long as their foot does not come down before. Like, as their foot comes down, they have to be releasing the ball forward, otherwise it's considered a balk. Okay. So what happens is Cortez will balance on his one leg and then just kind of go, and then he'll throw it or whatever, and it's just like, that's just, you look like a fucking weirdo doing that or whatever, and it's not good. You lose a lot. You lose a lot of strength or whatever doing that too.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, and I'm like, oh great, we traded away our all-star closer and Devin Williams away for Nestor Cortez and a prospect in Caleb Durbin. And Durbin could potentially be a good infielder for the Brewers, but as he started in AAA this year, but he looked okay in spring training, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But it's like, this is really all we got back for our all-star closer, really? It's just because we didn't want to let him walk. Might as well get something back, even if it's not a ton. As you can tell, I'm not the biggest fan of Nestor Cortez, and his first start with the Yankees or whatever, where he was threw 4 pitches and gave up 4 home runs, really didn't help me try and...
Yeah, no.
It really didn't help me, it's like, come on, man. He's starting the game tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. They're facing the Reds. Maybe it was just like he got a little shell. He just got shelled and got a little shocked or whatever against his former team. Fine. You know what? One bad start. So if that's all it's really going to be, and you can have some solid starts going forward, obviously not every start's going to be perfect. So maybe that's what it'll be. That's what I'm hoping. God damn it, Athletics.
What?
Yeah, the Cubs beat them again, 10-2.
Oh my god!
Look, all I'm saying, if the Cubs want to win the Central or whatever, and the Brewers want to win the wild card, and then go face the Cubs and then beat them at Wrigley Field, because
that'd be
apparently
so fucking
funny.
winning
the division doesn't guarantee you moving on anyway. Then I don't give a fuck. winning the division doesn't matter. Because if you're the low, because of the 3 divisions, if you are the lowest, like if you have the least amount of wins between the 3 division winners, you still have to play in the wild card round. Now you get home field advantage in a 2-game in a best of 3 series, basically, and it's just like all 3 games will be played by the division winner. But the fact is, a division winner needs to play in a wild card game. It's so fucking stupid to me. That's the A's. What did I expect?
Yeah.
Oh my god, the freaking Marlins! Ew. Marlins blew a 5-2 lead. Is that what I'm seeing here? Jesus Christ, they did. Well, they are the Marlins. I got much to talk about. So thank y'all so much for listening to another episode of It Never Ends. We talked to the the Switch 2 reveal and now baseball. What a contrasting topics those were.
I was gonna say it feels weird that we don't have much to talk about, but when the fucking Switch 2 got announced, it is just a bigger, better Switch though. So it's not like they really gave us a whole lot to talk about.
Yeah, and it's not like there was like a ton of like games that were just like new or whatever. It's like there was a few, but like for the most part, there was just like here's like versions of the Switch 2 for this because now it's strong enough we can play like Yakuza 0 and Elden Ring and Final Fantasy VII Remake. Cool. Why do I care?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, though, thanks everyone for watching. We try to do this every single week.
Yeah.
And we're making a conceited effort to just recycle the exact same topics every single week.
It's true. So.
Hey, we did not talk about the MCU at all this podcast.
Dude, it's pretty crazy. We could have though. We could have talked about Spider-Man 4 reveal. We don't need to.
We try not to recycle topics on this podcast.
Hey, it wasn't a recycled topic. That one would have been.
How many times have we talked about Beyond the Spider-Verse now?
No, it's not for Beyond the Spider-Verse. It's for the MCU one.
What?
Yeah, didn't you see they announced the title? It's a brand new day.
Thanks everybody for watching.
Yeah, thank you all so much for listening and watching stuff like that.
Hey,
be sure to follow the show and wherever it is, Spotify, whatever, YouTube.
If you want to hear two nerds talk about Spider-Man again, you can always join us next week. And thanks for listening and watching. I believe we're on Spotify. We are correct.
Indeed.
If you want to go over there, just give us a neat little rating. Maybe join us again next week. We always have fun having these discussions. We'll see y'all next time.
Go watch baseball.
And go watch baseball.
Anyway, bye. Now we're going to go play video games because we're a bunch of nerds.